Well, welcome back. It is Monday once again. Ooh, and my coffee's hot. Well, I want to give you guys a little bit of a helping hand and a bit of a guiding step. Um, and today I ask this question a lot. How do you stay on task so much? How do you stay so motivated? How do you stay so disciplined? How do you find the will to do what you do with such consistency? Um, and we're all very passionate about the things we want to learn how to do, the things we want to learn how to explore. That's not sort of a weird phrase. The things we want to learn how to do. We all have great passion about the things we're interested in. The thing you have to remember is that passion has to be translated into physical work or sometimes mental work, some kind of expression of that will. And some of us get so excited, we get so excited, ready to jump into this new endeavor, this new skill set, this new class, this new course, that we're like, okay, I'm gonna jump in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on this thing for 4 days, 5 days. I'm gonna work on it a week straight for 10 hours a day. And by day two, you lose the motivation to even go through with day three, day four, day five, which turns into 2 weeks, which turns into 3 weeks, and you forget what you're even doing. I'm not sure if the study built on this, but this is my own personal experience. Because I've been excited about things and jumped into it, and then like a week later, I'm like, what was I doing, big girl? I was so excited about. One thing you have to remember is that your ability to accomplish tasks, your willpower, just like in a video game, it's kind of like your stamina. It has a meter. It has a meter, and you're starting off on level 1. So you're out there in your supposed RPG to be the best at whatever you're trying to accomplish. And this is the same thing as going in day 1 and skipping all the lower dungeons, going straight for a forest giant and hitting it with, you know, your wooden stick that then shatters into pieces. Willpower has to be built up. Willpower has to be built up slowly. Um, just like any muscle, you can't jump into the gym and start deadlifting 500 pounds or 1,000 pounds. You can't do it. It's impossible. And if you attempt it, and if you really, really attempt it, you're going to hurt yourself. And that's what a lot of people end up doing. Artists, creatives, anybody, they end up hurting themselves. Some people call it or experience it as burnout. What you have to do is build your willpower up slowly over time. That doesn't mean you can't be excited for the thing you do. Do the thing you want to do when you want to do it, but also don't plan on putting in, 150% every day to try to accomplish something that takes more time to experience and to develop and bring to its full fruition. Uh, we've all seen people, get excited about jogging or working out, and the first, 2 weeks they're in there, they're going hard, too hard, and in week 3, they kind of sit on the couch. I'm like, I don't really feel like going. I did so well last week. I gotta take a day off, and that day turns into 2 days, 3 days, and it snowballs out of control. When you're working on building a skill, when you're working on building a skill set, do a little bit every day. In this case, take a day off, but always come back to it. And what I mean by a little bit, when you're starting off, I would say 30 minutes. 10, 15, 30 minutes. Next day, if you do 15, 30 minutes, that's fine too. If you get to the 4th, 5th day, you're going to do 15 minutes before you like get pulled away, that's fine. But don't go a day without doing anything. And some days you might feel really good. You'll put in 4 or 5 hours. You're like, oh, I felt great. And you kind of build that internal excitement about being excited about what you're doing. So you're coming to a breakthrough point in your skill set. And that's going to elevate you to the next level. Now, progression isn't exactly like this. It's not a vertical slope that goes straight up like a mountain. There's hills, there's valleys, there's mountain peaks, there's down lows. The important thing about that is when you're going through those hills, valleys, mountaintops, and sometimes, ditches or crevasses, because I'm fancy. Keep going. Keep going. Some people die on the mountaintop. Some people die in the valley. You don't want to be the person that dies. Take your time. Kill a few rats in the forest. Take your wooden staff and beat a couple swamp rats. And then think about taking on an orc, or 2 orcs, or a forest giant. But slowly. Don't jump in so hard. Don't burn yourself out. Don't use the measuring stick of someone else's skill throw you into the deep end of the pool, and then you find out you can't swim. Learning the basic stuff first is going to help. It's going to take you further than going 1,000% every day. And then you could eventually hit this state, which isn't great. It's not always healthy, but there's a balance to be struck. I try to find a balance in everything I do. I do work 7 days a week. Some days it's like 4 or 5 hours. Some days it's like 8 hours. Some days it might be 2 hours. All depending on how excited I am about the project or things I got in front of me. But the willpower I built up, which brought me into the creative field, was built doing martial arts and doing repetitious things, dozens and dozens of times over and over and over again. So I kind of have the built-in framework of knowing how skills are built. And if you play video games, you know exactly how skills are built. You know exactly, as you progress through a game, yes, things are going to get harder the further you go, but doesn't mean you jump from the beginning of the game and try to beat the end boss in the first, the first hour of the game. It's typically not a good idea. You might get all this messed up, and you're going to be laying there, and you're going to be out of commission for 2, 3 months, 4 months, sometimes years, because you burnt yourself out trying to accomplish something that didn't need to be rushed to begin with. So, if you want to be more productive, if you want to learn more, if you want to do more, if you want to be more of the thing that you want to be, you're going to have to take small steps. Gotta crawl for your walk. And eventually, you try flying. Anyway, hope that helps you guys out. It's a little insight into how I can stay productive day to day. And it's all about showing up, but some days you can do a little bit, and some days you can do a lot. You have to know who you are on the inside, and some days you literally have to take a day off, and that's fine. Every designer, every creative is not exactly the same. Everybody's willpower meter it builds up slower than faster than others. Um, but keep going. Keep going. I hope that helps you guys. What kind of news I got? So Patreon, I'm doing the emotes now. I'm getting the idea sketched up. I released a couple Pride emotes for free on my Twitter, and they're animated. Since Twitch didn't like releasing the animated emotes this year for some reason. We are 20 emotes away from hitting 5,000 emotes created, which is nuts. Any other news? I redid the website, so all that stuff's updated on there, including the pricing, including some of the other things I offer. I still gotta add a couple more things, but that's updated. I added like 600 emotes from my portfolio to the front page. If you go to thekindartist.org, you can check out about 500 to 600 emotes kind of lined up on the front page, and I'm still reworking the visuals of that, but that was fun to do. And as much as I want to do the GCX booth this year, the digital booth, I'm too bogged down with work to even think about it, unfortunately, so I can't do GCX, the online thing this year. But I hope everyone gets to stop by their stream to raise money for St. Jude's charity. If you use the animated Pride emote and the Pride emotes that I provided, I did leave a link to the Trevor Project to leave some charity for that. So if you're not using it on the Patreon, you can donate a couple bucks to the Trevor Project. And 10% off King's Coast Coffee. You use code word Conquer. There you go. Code word Conquer. Get you 10% off on any coffee from King's Coast. And the emote course did go up to $100, so the price has already gone up beginning of the month. I think that's it. Oh yeah, thanks so much for all the love of the comics. That I should do a video on revenue streams next, possibly. Help you guys kind of diversify what you do. But that being said, you guys have a great Monday. Keep fighting a good fight. Take it slow. Take it slow. It'll work out better in the end. Yeah. You guys have a great week.